little bit in the beginning. Yeah. So basically, the question is like UFOs, yes or no? You know, as far as your beliefs. So we can just hammer it out right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Derek and Keenan coming back at you with Test the Algorithm. This is episode 2. Today we're going to be talking about UFOs, and you know, basically if you believe them or not. And I got some more clips for him that I don't think that he's seen before. So I guess we can just get right into it, unless you have anything.
No, I think they're real. I mean, even without getting into the clips that you have, just everything that I've seen online, it's like, yeah. I think we definitely have some.
I guarantee after this, you'll have a little bit of a different opinion, at least on it. You know what I mean? So we'll get right into this. I don't know. There's probably 10 clips or something like that. But yeah, so hit that first clip.
I first heard your story decades ago. I told you last night we went out to dinner. I've seen pretty much every interview you've ever given. I've followed the story incredibly closely. But for people who don't know the story, let's give them the bullet points. You used to work at Area 51. And Area 51, you let like, huh?
Well, you know, we want to be accurate.
Okay.
Area S4.
S4, okay.
It's about 15 miles south of Area 51.
Okay.
But,
you worked in, how would you describe it?
I guess within the Area 51 compound. You can call that a subset of Area 51.
So have you ever seen that guy right there?
I have not.
That guy is Bob Lazar, right? There is Netflix specials and a lot of stuff about him. You can find all kinds of different videos. He worked for Los Alamos Labs.
Oh, okay.
Proven true, like they did background and everything, proven true. And this guy right here, he put a jet engine, like he's a very smart dude, right? He put a jet engine on a Honda. That's how they figured, that's how they, like, he got notoriety. It was like in the paper and whatnot. Now, he works for S4. That is, you know, Area 51 is a, which everybody's heard about, Area 51, right? Little green men and shit.
Right.
But, so he worked on a subset of that was like underground in a mountain, because Area 51 is basically, that's where they did all the testing for new aerial equipment and stuff. That's, you know, that's why it's out there in the desert and whatnot. But he actually worked there, and he's kind of a trippy guy when you listen to him, because he's kind of a fucking nerd or whatever. But he's got a story that's pretty crazy, and he's been on Joe Rogan, I think, like 2 or 3 times. You know what I mean? And he's gotten really into his story. But he's one of the big guys, because he said in Area S4, he saw and was reverse engineering a spacecraft, a UFO. Sure. You know what I mean, or a UAF. But that's him, and that's Area S4. So go ahead and hit the next clip, because I think the next 2 are kind of just some little subsets of him too.
So take me back to first day on the job. You accept a job. They take you out there.
Yeah. It's, the first day, really, I didn't really get to see a whole lot. The first day was essentially just paperwork. That's when I flew into Area 51 proper. And I left McCarran Airport and flew what they call the Janet flights. Just, you know, a passenger plane from Las Vegas to Area 51. And it was really just going through a mountain of paperwork that day.
So that's just kind of, I put that one in there, just kind of proving where he worked. You know what I mean? He's saying it, you know, he's there because a lot of UFO people or whatever, you know, Area 51's like the holy grail of all that. You know what I mean? Like Storm Area 51 like a year ago or whatever it was.
Right.
So that's just kind of proven. Now, this right here, this next clip, is him drawing and telling you the ship that he was reverse engineering and what it looked like. You know what I mean? And so here we go.
The craft that I worked on, that when it's going to travel a long distance, that is how it operates. It flies along and it puts its belly to the target, and then brings all the amplifiers to power, and you know, it shoots off in that direction. It doesn't fly as it would in the science fiction movies. It flies with the belly, the bottom forward.
If the description of a spacecraft tilting sounds familiar, Take a look at the so-called gimbal UFO, a video released by the Pentagon in 2017. Naval pilots encountered a fleet of these unknown craft off the coast of Florida in 2015 and have since had dozens of similar encounters. The spike in UFO incidents prompted a recent policy change by the Navy, which announced it wants to encourage its pilots to report future incidents. Pentagon officials reluctantly admitted to the New York Times 17 months ago that the military has secretly studied UFO incidents, in part so it might figure out the technology.
Now, I believe that's what they call the Tic Tac video. You've seen this on the news, and I think that was like that pilot named Fravor or whatever is the one that released that. I think, but yeah, it shows in that Tic Tac video, like you'll see it like going and you'll see it tilt. You know what I mean? So kind of backing up what he's saying as far as propulsion, like, he said it doesn't fly like a saucer, like on movies. Sure. It tilts and then goes. You know what I mean?
Could you imagine seeing that? You're a fighter pilot, arguably one of the best aviators in the world for the United States. Well, in the world, I would say that.
I would say Air Force is the best, I'd imagine.
And say that all of a sudden you have to get on comms and go, hey, I see this. Could you imagine them completely just putting you in the hospital and go, all right, he's a wackadoo?
Well, a lot of this stuff has been coming out lately, you know what I mean? So I don't know why, but they're releasing it all of a sudden, you know what I mean? All these videos, and then like it's that Tic Tac one's not the only one, you know what I mean? So, but it kind of gives me a when I see them releasing it at this time for some weird reason, you know what I mean? I don't really like I said, I'll give you my opinion at the end. But that guy right there kind of just backed up like the Tic Tac video. You know what I mean? Exactly. As far as the way it moves. Exactly. You know what I mean? So exactly. And I believe, let's see this next one.
When they detonated the bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that's when UFOs started coming. And all the UFO activity ramped up substantially. And
why do you think that is?
Because I think they realized we have nukes. Like these crazy motherfuckers are just wiping out whole cities with nukes. These fucking assholes, they had to come down and go, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you doing, man? What the fuck are you?
So, that he's talking about there, during the the little boy and big boy or fat boy or whatever, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, saying that's when a lot of UFO sightings ramped up. You know what I mean? There was a lot of them. And I believe that the way that they were talking in that podcast, it's almost like the Prometheus movie, like they genetically engineered us to be a slave workforce, basically, and kind of like watching ants in an ant colony. You know what I mean? They will just observe until you get too technologically scary, and then they'll come down. That's why they were saying after the nukes, right? You start the UAF phenomenon. There was a lot more. You know what I mean? Have you ever heard that one before? About the nukes? Yeah, that's new. Huh? All right.
Yeah, that's a new one for me.
Which kind of makes sense, right? If you were like a benevolent overseer of something you created, you're like, okay, that's fine. They're going to war or whatever, but they're just killing each other with arrows and knives and swords and whatnot. Right. Now they got a nuclear bomb. You know what I mean? So I mean, it kind of makes sense or whatever, but I still don't believe it.
Stepping to the big leagues.
And then so this next one is Post Malone, that little padded rapper kid or whatever. And this is a good one because this next one, it's actual photo of what happened. And wait till you see this. And I believe it was in LA. So
the pictures of Battle Los Angeles is crazy.
What happened exactly?
There's this big object in the sky, and we're shooting machine guns at it. We got spotlights. This is like in the 50s, maybe? Look at this shit. Wow. So we're putting fucking rounds on this fucking thing.
Spotlights on this thing in the sky.
Look at the rounds.
Right, but what is it? What is it that they see? That's weird that all you can see is spotlights.
1947 it says there.
Boy, that looks like a fucking flying saucer.
Look at in the middle and but those things around it, those are fucking like Ma Deuce rounds. Like they're shooting at this fucking thing. They don't know what it is.
Well, that there's a famous story from the Soviet Union that these guys shot at a UFO and it turned them into stone.
Is it true?
I don't know. The CIA investigated it.
Kind of biblical, huh? That's crazy though. You see all this, and that's a real photo. That's not like someone made that. You know, what I mean,
Sure.
that's a real photo. It's like they got all the spotlights from all the areas on it. You know,
Could you imagine I mean, even now, 2023, almost 2024, but back in the 50s, where you don't have the movies and all that, all the sci-fi flicks. You look up and you go, oh crap, what is that? I mean, people don't know what it is. So, I mean, they're going to go out and look
right.
until stuff starts raining down on them. But you look up and go, what is that? I've never seen that before.
Right. What I think a lot of this too is like I got a video in here, kind of like off subject, but on it. But let's say the stealth fighter, stealth bomber. You know what I mean? That triangle looking black plane.
Yep.
Like we had that years and years before public even knew about it. And you imagine that thing flying over when no one's ever said anything about it. And you look up and you see this black triangle flying over.
Absolutely.
You're going to say that's a UFO or a UAF. You know what I mean? So that's the next one right here. See that cat right there? That's Eddie Bravo. I love Eddie Bravo. He's awesome. But this is more of where my argument goes. I believe this is a clip, and I think this is more of where my argument goes with UFOs.
Okay.
That stuff is interesting. UFOs, it's Project Blue.
We used to be all in on UFOs.
Dude, are you kidding? I was a UFO. Dude, I was the UFO.
Is there ice in there?
No.
Yeah. No. Okay. I don't have any ice.
Yeah, those ball ices are awesome.
Get some more ice. We'll get some more ice. We'll get some more.
I got more whiskey here.
Do you remember when you and I first got into Zachariah Sitchin?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You ever read Zachariah Sitchin? Okay, that's another one you should just glance through, audiobook it or whatever. I think you can get the free audiobook on YouTube of it. You know what I mean? He's but I know he was talking about the whiskey balls or whatever. Those are awesome. I have some in the fridge, but basically what he said there, that's where I go with this. And I'll show you in the end. I got like 4 videos at the end, but I don't Project Bluebeam is what it is. You know what I mean? And this next clip it's that same podcast that they were in doing that, but it's just another.
I believe a lot of the people that see UFOs really believe they see it, and they just get set up. I think they're just.
But they're not seeing UFOs. They're seeing maybe a drone. They
exactly.
don't know the technology.
Holograms, drones, some high level shit. They're pushing it so hard. It's so obvious.
That's what's
so
weird,
fucking obvious.
is that they're pushing it.
It's so obvious.
Definitely on that one.
That's where I go on that, because it is very peculiar to me that all of a sudden here, look at the gimbal video, look at the Tic Tac video. See, I don't, and like I said, I don't trust a damn thing the government says at all. I don't trust them at all. They burned that bridge with me a long time ago. You know what I mean? So it makes me wonder why. Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Sure.
It makes me wonder. Okay, now like I was saying with the B-2 and the stealth bombers and all that. Now, everybody should have already seen this. This is Eisenhower back in the day. This is where I go more with it, because this is that video to where he starts talking about the military-industrial complex and beware of them, right? So this is just, everybody should watch this video, but watch it now.
A vital element in keeping the peace is our military establishment. Our arms must be mighty, ready for instant action, so that no potential aggressor may be tempted to risk his own destruction. Our military organization today bears little relation to that known of any of my predecessors in peacetime, or indeed by the fighting men of World War II or Korea. Until the latest of our world conflicts, the United States had no armaments industry. American makers of plowshares could, with time and as required, make swords as well. But we can no longer risk emergency improvisation of national defense. We have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions. Added to this, 3.5 million men and women are directly engaged in the defense establishment. We annually spend on military security alone more than the net income of all United States corporations. Now, this conjunction of an immense military establishment and a large arms industry is new in the American experience. The total influence, economic, political, even spiritual, is felt in every city, every state house, every office of the federal government. We recognize the imperative need for this development, yet we must not fail to comprehend its grave implications. Our toil, resources, and livelihood are all involved. So is the very structure of our society. In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. We should take nothing for granted. Only an alert and knowledgeable citizenry can compel the proper meshing of the huge industrial and military machinery of defense with our peaceful methods and goals, so that security and liberty may prosper together.
That's where I go with a lot of this, that unreal, god-awful amount of money spent on munitions, because, I mean, that's a scary one, you know what I mean? Because like I said, but the SR-71 spy plane, you know, which is decommissioned or whatever. I think Elon Musk named his kid weird after it or whatever. And you know, the stealth bomber, you know, all those that, you know, those triangle looking planes.
Yep.
It would kind of make sense if they reverse engineered that off of something the first stealth capability planes. You know what I mean? And of course it's going to be like Boeing or something that's going to have the contract to do that or whatever. You know, so that's where I go with a lot of this. And the next one is the Reagan one that everybody's heard, that literally talks about, oh, this would bring world peace if an alien invasion came down. You know what I mean? That's scary, dude. That is not good. That's no bueno.
No.
And that's back in the day. And he's literally just said, oh, you know, all the movies. I believe what this stuff is called, like when you watch a movie like Independence Day or something, I believe that's called revelation of method. I believe, kind of like they say a vampire can't come into your house unless you invite him in. I believe this is an external evil force, and they have to give you bits and pieces of the story, you know, to like de-stress you to it, or, you know, to make it okay for them to do. And it's called revelation of method. And in all those UFO movies like Independence Day and everything else, right, an alien force comes down to try to mess us up, and the whole world gets together on the same side to kill this alien force or whatever.
Right.
There will never be peace in this world.
No.
There's too many parties and personalities. Hell, we live in the United States, and it's like 50-50 Democrat Republican. That's not even good. That's a dangerous thing when half of your people don't agree with each other. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And so I don't know. Like I said, that Reagan thing, that one kind of got me. You know what I mean? Because he kind of set a movie right there that we've all seen.
He has.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Or yeah.
I mean, it's just. I mean, especially with somebody with that much power to say something like that to the American people and the world. I mean, so whenever a president speaks, even President Biden, the world listens, and the United States is definitely the foremost in power.
Well, you feel the president, I mean, he's getting all the CIA plans, all the FBI plans. He gets all that. They bring him plans, Gulf of Tonkin, everything else, right? And so when you hear people like on the internet or whatever going like Project Bluebeam, Operation Blue Book, Operation Fishbowl, those aren't just they made it up out of thin air. Those are actual CIA documents that have been released that you could look at. Like Fishbowl, for instance, dude, the U.S. military was launching nukes into the air to try to break the firmament. That's what they were doing, to try to break this bowl and to get out of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so Operation Paperclip, bringing all the Nazis here to basically make the bomb and everything else. You know what I mean? So they're not true. And where I go with this, and this is where it's gonna get kind of fun for you, right? This is called Project Bluebeam. And about, I don't know, 10 or 15 years, I was talking about Project Bluebeam, and I remember I seen the first hologram, and I believe it was in Japan, and it was this lake, and they had like a Loch Ness monster looking thing coming out of the water, and it looked super real back in the day, but it was blue colored, so you could tell it was video and it was blue. You're not gonna believe what they could do right now, dude. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
This is Project Bluebeam.
mean, just the technology was absolutely mind blowing. And depending on what you want to accomplish with it for like the water effect, you can program sprinklers to hit you.
Misters.
Exactly. That would be.
Tell me that's unreal. That is unreal right there, dude. And that's not even the best one. The best one I got, I believe it's the last one. It's a concert that these people had or whatever in this arena. But yeah, it's gotten, like I said, 10 or 15 years ago when I was looking this stuff up. The best one I found is nothing compared to that. So they've been working on that a lot. And just like everything in life that's created, you can either use it for good or for bad.
Correct.
So, I mean, that's where I go with UFOs. You ready for the next one? Because these last ones are all just Project Bluebeam, me showing you what they could do, right?
Just the detail.
Unreal, right? See, but that one you could tell it's fake because it's more lit looking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or whatever. That's actually an early one. The one before that, that's a newer one, and these next two are newer ones. Wait till you see this. This is just looking up in the sky, right? I believe this is a release of a new building they built, and wait till you see this.
Could you imagine looking up and going, holy crap, no, that's not real.
Right. It would make you question. I mean, it's like, see that one right there, just that's with the sky as a background.
Right.
That's not in a stadium with, that's the sky as a background, and it's got fucking wells floating through the sky.
Right. I mean, you look up and go, when did I do PCP?
Right. Acid.
When was the last time that I did that? It's like, well, no, I've never done it. Like, well, what was in my breakfast this morning?
Right.
What'd you sprinkle in there this
Crazy
morning?
O's. This one right here, and this one is one of the newer ones I found. This is a concert, right? And you know how they just built that new stadium in Vegas, the Sphere?
The Sphere,
which is amazing. They make it look like the Globe or a basketball or whatever.
Yep.
This is a stadium that's similar to that. But imagine what they're going to do in the Sphere, right? Anyways, check this out, dude. This is the newest one. You know what I mean? It had music in the background. I had to kind of mute the clip or whatever because they're at a concert. But that's unreal, and that's it's not looking down at the floor,
right?
And it's projecting something, dude. That is the sky is the background.
Exactly.
What the fuck is a UFO?
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a little. Last night I had a good friend of mine over, and we're talking, and he has a friend that I've met a couple times where he was telling me about a dream he had. And I know this is going to sound kind of crazy. Just bear with me here, right? He said and this was a long time ago, he had the dream, right? He said he had a dream that he was sitting like in a field and looking at a mountain. And he said all of a sudden in the sky appeared like Muhammad, Buddha, Jesus, and all these other gods, right? And they were floating in the sky. They merged together as one and came down to the ground. See, that's where I like UFOs. I'll say no. There ain't a chance in hell there's such thing as UFOs because you can't always believe what you see. You know what I mean? And I've never seen one, so, and a lot of the shit I see on here, it could be a drone.
Sure.
I have a drone that'll do 90 miles an hour and fly 800 foot in the air and hover, right? You imagine 20 years ago, if someone had a new age drone, you would see the red and green light going through the air and you'd be like, what the heck is that?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's where I go with that. Because I believe in my opinion, the government or governments, plural, I believe that they have this technology. And I think what they're going to do is they're either going to fake an alien invasion to bring the whole world, the one world government, the new world order. I think they're going to fake an alien invasion to try to bring everybody together and consolidate,
They could.
Or imagine if it's like that guy's dream. I know the dream sounded crazy, right? I've never had crazy dreams like that, but I wanted to run that one by as far as like, you imagine if in the Middle East, like it shows like Muhammad or Allah, and then here it's like Jesus and then Buddha and all, and then they all merge together and come down. That would be another way the government can get control of people right there. It would be like Jesus is here, you know what I mean, and whatnot. So that's where I go with it, because the shit that I've seen, you can't always trust what you see,
right?
And you can't always. The weird thing is you can't always trust what you see, and you can't always trust what you hear because there's freaking liars, and there's shit like that,
right?
So.
Well, going back to your drone, you spent $1,000 on it. Two. So think if you had a couple $1 billion,
right,
in your spending budget. It's like, I mean, I know I could make a much bigger one, and that would work.
Quieter, faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the drone that I have is a DJI. That's the brand of it. It's the same drone that Ukraine is using to drop those grenades on the Russian soldiers right now. It's the exact. They use DJIs, or it's like one of the best drones. And my drone's scary, dude. What it'll do? You plug your phone into it or a tablet or whatever on the bottom, and you can go to maps on your tablet, and I can pick my buddy's house like 5 miles away.
Yeah.
Select it. The drone will take off by itself, do 90 miles an hour to my friend's house, go around it, video capturing it, come back and land all by itself. It's unreal, So, bottom line, I don't believe in UFOs at all. I think that it's fishy to me when the government just now starts releasing it. It's fishy to me, and like I said, I believe that it's Project Bluebeam. You guys can make your own conclusions or whatever, but I'm glad that I got those hologram videos on there because if they can do that,
absolutely.
If you can see, they're using it for good. They're at a concert. There's fucking wells and shit float right. That's fun. Oh, look at that. But if you choose to use that for bad, imagine what you could do. You imagine more of like a, I don't want to be rude or whatever, but like a not as advanced civilization, like let's say somewhere in the Amazon or something, right?
Sure.
You imagine bringing that to them.
Oh yeah, I mean,
they would think you're God.
Yeah, absolutely.
So and our people today aren't too much smarter, in my opinion. So that's my videos for you. What did you like any of them?
We have our moments as society,
right?
I mean, with all the technological advances that we have, we are relying too much on the internet for all of our answers, and our IQs are just going down.
Oh yeah, big time. You've never seen those hologram videos?
I haven't. No,
it's unreal, right? No.
I mean, so with my sick and twisted sense of humor, with the programming behind the last one, could you imagine you have the whales are floating up there, and all of a sudden you just have one drop out of the sky? You would have literally everybody in that audience
panicking,
screaming.
Oh, you would see them like this and stuff, dude. But it's just a hologram.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just like I love magicians. They're absolutely fantastic. Sleight of hand, fantastic. They're all liars, and you know who I'm talking about. We've had that conversation before. But no, I mean, your eyes will see and your brain processes it, and then it's going to go, oh crap,
right?
And so what you see, your brain's going to automatically think that's real, and whenever it's truly not.
Yeah, I don't. That it doesn't make me nervous because, in my opinion, there ain't no such thing. So I'm not like, it's not like ooh or whatever. I just like putting those videos out and looking at those because that's where I label it. In my opinion, it's Project Bluebeam, and the government controls it, and they can at any time do like a false flag or do some kind of false narrative or something using that technology. Yeesh, that's
definitely plausible.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
And if you guys can you hit the like button and subscribe? Appreciate it. You know what I mean? we're having fun doing these videos, and hopefully next time he has some stuff for me to look at. I don't know what we're gonna do next. You guys can comment in the comments, like, do you want us to like get some videos and look at like Bigfoot, or what do you guys want us to talk about? You can let us know and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll get some videos next time.
Okay, because we went Vivek, right? And then we went UFOs.
Right.
So we're really fucking with the algorithm. You know what I mean? So, which I like. That's the whole point of this shit.
And that's what we're gonna do. We're testing to see what works.
Right.
And it's gonna be interesting.
And this will be our. We won't do another video till probably after New Year's. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year's to everybody. Hey, Mom, Randy, thanks for the hat. I like it. You know. Hope everybody gets all the presents they want, unless you're a dude, because Christmas sucks ass if you're a guy and you never get anything good. But hope it's all good, and Kyle will come back at you with, I don't know, this guy will get me some videos to look at.
Definitely.
Thanks, everybody.
Till next time, guys. Take care.